Here we go. It is time for another season. So I had to reach out and bring back Michael Budensiek. You've seen him on all of my shows by now. He is a powerhouse here in Tampa, and it is an honor to bring him back here to That Entrepreneur Show. Michael, it's great to see that face. It's great to see that smile.
Vincent, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm great. I'm glad to bring you
Good.
back here, especially to kick
Thanks for
off a
having
new
me.
season. Oh, it's an honor to always connect with Michael. He's one of the most uplifting and positive guys I know. We met, I don't know, a year or two ago at our mutual friend Carlos's networking event. Big shout out to Carlos at Tampa Counseling and Wellness for all he does. But if it's your first time joining us here for this new season, this is the podcast where I interview founders of companies or brands from all around the world each week since the end of 2019. And this week, we are honored to bring back a guest who has done a lot, not only since his first episode, but overall. Michael, if people missed your first show, give them that sweet elevator pitch that you perfected so well.
Well, I suppose it's probably changed since we've last spoke, right? So, I spend most of my time working with entrepreneurs and business owners to help them become the individual that they need to be to run the business that they want to have. Essentially, I help coach them in what I believe are the foundation of an entrepreneurial life. It's five pillars. So it's leadership, communication, expectation, success, and health. And my belief is that if you build that early, you build that foundation early, it'll keep you from kind of having as many pitfalls. But if you're well on your journey and you've got some areas in which you're struggling, usually one of those five pillars can help clean it up. So we still have the gym, we still have the fitness facility up in Lutz. We've got a small networking company that we recently launched as well here locally, and so this just helps people connect and learn how to basically connect and grow professionally and personally with other individuals trying to do the same thing. So
He says it very humbly. He has the facility in Lutz, but he didn't just start here in Florida and use his network that he had forever in Florida. He started quite a bit away. Let's backtrack with our audience, Michael, because you've come so far. I'm proud to know you, but it wasn't always this big. You started from scratch.
true.
Teach
That's true.
everybody what you went through.
Yeah, so I guess the short of it would be I started working very young, pretty much full time by the time I was 13, in construction, residential construction. Did firefighting, EMT, a couple other odds and ends, retail, fast food. And then by the time I was 20, I knew I wanted to coach people. And so I started in personal training. Fast forward 5 or 6 years, I had the opportunity to started opening my own facilities, and we opened one facility a year for 5 years. And so we had 5 personal training studios up north in the Midwest. And then in 2017, my wife and I decided that we either needed to like really buckle down and go all in on this company, or kind of start to move away from that and get out of it and start over somewhere else. And we both really wanted to get into Florida. We wanted a more tropical climate, and we live a very active lifestyle. And so this was a little bit better for us. And so in 2018, we actually made the official move, ended up selling our home and business and all that stuff up there, and essentially started over late 19. So, which was interesting timing considering COVID landed much shortly after that. But
Yeah, but he's still here. He's still standing. And we just also briefly touched on him extending his brand to coaching, to the networking group. You could touch on either which one of those first, and then we'll hop into the next. I'd love to shed some light on that.
Sure. So I started when we moved here in 2018. I started consulting, and I think that consulting is important. I think that having a sales system and a process and structure to your company is important. But what I really have found through the 17 years and almost 30,000 hours of coaching is, as individuals, we must get better, or our external circumstances don't improve. And so, as it's good to have a sales system and a process and a procedure, if as the owner of the business or as a high level manager, executive of the business, you don't have good leadership skills, communication skills, expectation skills, defining success skills, and you don't have good health, like something's going to crack, something's going to break. And so I really kind of took a step back and I started focusing on the individual. And so that's why for me, it's a founder or a CEO or entrepreneur will hire me. And sometimes I work just directly with them. Sometimes I actually go in and kind of make a custom package for the company if it's a small enough company. Because I believe that as one individual improves, so do those around them, right? You can constantly give a hand up to someone who's lower than you. So that's kind of the short end of this whole strategic advising life strategy piece for entrepreneurs and business owners.
I love it. And right there, I put here in the show notes when we're going live, he tailors custom packages for the teams or specific work with the CEO. I got to ask, which do you prefer more? I know you have this great personality. You've helped so many people through getting their health in shape, and now you're working with the mind, all 5 pillars of entrepreneurship. You like working with teams, or you like one-on-ones best? Tell me a little bit.
I think I've done a few group coaching things over my time, but I really enjoy one-on-one. You're never going to be able to get someone to go as deep in a group as you can get them to go one-on-one. And the deeper that we can go as people, the more growth that we will experience. And the more growth that we will experience, ultimately, the better our business and our life become. And so because of that, I really do like the one-on-one. Obviously, it's sometimes challenging for people to be able to drop that investment. But one thing that I have done and I do offer is I'll actually take a small percentage of the cut of the company if they can't afford to pay me up front. And that's fine too. It's whatever, however the deal has worked best for the individual is kind of what we do.
I love that, being flexible with your clients, and entrepreneurship flexibility is everything. Let's now plug exactly where they can find more about you online, reach out about these services.
Sure. Yeah. michaelblife.com is my personal website. It's my personal brand. Michael B. Life is on every platform. I have that on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I locked it down on all of them. So they can find me there. Instagram is probably the most active, LinkedIn being second active. And then Facebook, YouTube, I need to get better at, but that's where we're at. So
I can resonate with that. I had the shiny object syndrome with so many social media apps besides YouTube, and getting that first 100 subscribers on YouTube was the hardest 100 subscribers I ever had to get, and the work that goes into it. Michael does put up great content. Once this next darn book comes out, I'm looking forward to taking off my 25-minute social media locks that I've been working with, just to stay focused. And something else I'm looking forward to getting more involved once the overwhelmingness of this book comes out is this networking group he's put together. I'm a member on it. I'm not as active yet, but I will be. It's on WhatsApp, I believe, and some other places. Can we talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. Yeah. So I actually have some free groups on WhatsApp. The one that you're referring to specifically it's basically people who are interested in personal growth and personal development, both personally and professionally. And I basically just host conversation in there throughout the week, throughout the days, to not force ideas on people, but to inspire people to take action. And then we actually have a networking company. We haven't officially announced it here locally yet, but it's going to be in the next 10 days. So I'm sure time we get this out, it'll be perfect timing. It's called Rocket. And it's there's 3 acronyms for Rocket. It's revolutionizing opportunities, connecting with kindness, and expanding together. And so there's three parts of the platform. Revolutionizing opportunities is connecting while learning how. So it's networking while learning how to build relationships, do follow-ups, and build strategic partnerships in the community. Connecting with kindness is social events. So that could be pickleball, it could be bowling, it could be whatever. And then the third one is expanding together, which is educational opportunities to come in and learn about specific things that people need in business, whether that's sales systems, whether that's finance help, whether that's improving, your email or social media flow. And I'm bringing in guests, speakers, and educators to help with those things.
And we'll be able to find more about this on your website, Michael B. Life.
We will, and obviously the Rocket website will start floating around here shortly as well.
All right. Well, I'll be sure to find a way to keep in the loop with this, so that way when we go live, we'll put it in the description. Do you see Michael? He's a hustler. You've heard all about what he's doing so far today. Michael, I've got to ask, did you ever think about writing a book on all of the great work you do, all of these things that you can offer the world? I think you have so much value to add. Is that something you ever thought about?
Yeah, so it's really funny. I have a lot of respect for you being able to sit and write as many books as you have. A lot of people will say, "Oh, you're always going, you're always going." And I think that my struggle is sitting still, right? And so I think those who can sit still and those who can create that content per se in a book format, I think there's a lot of value there, and I think there's a lot of strength in that. I've started 2 books 3 times. And I just never get, I get like an outline or a rough draft. I get like all the, and it just becomes nothing. So I think eventually, yes, but at this point in time in my life, I don't know that it's something I can take on.
We'll talk a little bit after the show. Maybe I can lend you a hand with that. You do so much for our community.
Yeah.
It'd be an honor to put your thoughts together. But until we get off the show, I know that as an entrepreneur, there are plenty of ups and downs, and we have to do things to make ourselves stay afloat. Could you share some things that you do maybe on a daily basis? I know health and fitness is a big part of both of our lives. Some things maybe we can offer our audience that can help them through the ups and downs.
Yeah, I think a lot of things are becoming quote unquote health and fitness related, but there are other things with your body that can help, right? Cold plunging, sitting in a sauna, making sure that you're hydrated, making sure you get enough electrolytes throughout the day. Most people don't drink enough water, and they definitely don't drink enough water that has electrolytes in it. There's just a lot of things that benefits, not just from a physical performance standpoint, but from a mental performance standpoint. Your brain burns primarily like carbohydrates, and so if you're under malnourished, if you're not nutritioned, right, you're not eating enough food. Even if you're just working all day long, your body is still starving for like how it could feel. And so besides exercise, I recommend exercise, 4 to 6 days a week. And that's just, it doesn't have to be a hard workout. It's just movement. Get up and move for 45 minutes to an hour. Drink plenty of water. Make sure you're getting enough vitamins and minerals, making sure you're getting enough electrolytes. And honestly, spending time journaling, just what are your thoughts for the day? What are you struggling with? What would you like to see be better? I have a thing that I do every morning. I write down my gratitudes. I pick 3 to 5 gratitudes. I write those down, and I kind of meditate or pray on those. And then the second thing I'll do is write down things that I am like shooting for. So like maybe a goal, and that goal can be short-term, long-term, it doesn't matter. The third thing that I do is a daily commitment. So like, what am I committing to get done today outside of all the other things that I have to do in life? And then the last thing that I usually try to write down are a few I am statements, right? So things that I want to believe about myself that I may struggle to currently believe now. I think it's really important because a lot of times we don't start our day well, and then that ultimately ends up leaving us in almost like not a panicked state, but a stressed and constant movement state where we don't actually ever get the opportunity to hone in on what are the areas in which we're just trying to improve. So those are some things that I would recommend.
I knew asking that question would provide as much value as it did. And so you're saying, the morning routines do have benefits for the rest of our day.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And what's funny is I haven't practiced this a lot myself. I've done some research on it and I've tried it a few times. But my night routine, my wife and I try to spend time together, maybe playing a game or watching a movie or something like that. So it's hard for me to do this, but even at night, like if you can sit and write down like all the things you got done that you are proud of, and then what are the things that you expect of yourself tomorrow when you wake up, like how do I expect to feel when I wake up in the morning? If you start writing that down, pretty incredible benefits, because your brain, as you sleep, subconsciously will start telling your body, okay, this is how we need to feel. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to behave. This is how we're going to think. And over time, you can really reprogram yourself to become whoever it is you want to be.
Thank you for sharing that. I try to be intentional with before bed. I write down the most important things I need to do the next day. I try to time block my day before I wake up because it may not work for everyone, which is the case with a lot of things. But for me, sure, being organized when I wake up, I see my 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6. As you know, my days are a little early, just like yours. It helps me there's plenty of overwhelmingness I've experienced on a day-to-day basis. So if I can minimize some of that stress, keep myself level-headed, it goes a long way. Michael's emphasized, a whole lot today. Cold plunges, sauna, electrolytes, journaling, the morning routines of at the end. This episode notes, the episode description is going to have everybody tuning in because of the value you put in here today. We spoke a little bit before on where to find you online. Can we share that one more time? And then upcoming information on this Rocket networking group. Is that strictly going to be in Florida? Is that also online, like a WhatsApp thing? Or if we can dive a little more into that?
Yeah, good question. Good question. So Michael B. Life. So just first name, last initial, Life is my handle on every platform. And then Rocket is hyper localized to start. So we're starting hyper local because I really value and think and believe that people value in-person connection. There for members, there will be additional benefits to WhatsApp groups and things like that. But like I said, I have that couple free WhatsApp groups that I run now anyways. So if people are just looking to connect, looking to find others who are on this growth journey, on this improvement idea, then yeah, just absolutely reach out, send me a message, and I'll get you dropped in there.
This has been an exciting show. As everybody knows, listening to the show, there are talking points each of my original guests hit, and now Michael's been a veteran on all my shows. So this was a nice organic conversation. I think it flowed really well. Michael, I appreciate you taking the time here to come on the show, come back and kick off this new season. I'm always honored to connect with you. I respect your hustle, respect the passion you put into your work. And now seeing you extend your brand is a joy as someone who's known you. The sky's the limit for you, and I do know that. I was just talking with someone in your group, Kristen Tomasello, before the show, and she goes, "Oh, did you see what Michael put in?" I'm like, "I have these locks on my phone right now." I'm like, coincidentally, I have Michael on my podcast at 10 minutes. Like, Michael is the absolute man. I was like, you know why I'm making time for Michael. Everyone out there, be sure to head to michaelblife.com. That's Michael B. Life on all the handles. And if you are here in the Tampa or Florida area, stay on the lookout on his website for this Rocket networking group, three-faceted platform going to tune you in to so much value. Here we are signing off on the 5 pillars of entrepreneurship and extending your brand with Michael Budensiek. Michael, thank you very much for coming on and kicking off the new season.
Thank you. Thank you, Vincent. I appreciate it so much.